question. A lot of people think that Washington is nothing but a cesspool of corruption. For example, I bring to your attention that John Murtha got $150 million for his airport up there that has 3 flights daily out of it. We got a guy named Tim Gaither, or whatever his name is, that was nominated for treasurer.
Who's that guy, the Whipple guy?
That was never...
Okay, keep going.
That never paid his taxes until he got this job. Whatever. You know who I'm talking about, Secretary of Treasury. Then here's this Charles Rangel, who is on the head of the Ways and Means that writes our tax laws, didn't report probably $2.4 million in income, and on his bill and everything he had down in one of the islands, and nothing's been done about that. That's been going on for 2 or 3 or 4 years. And then when they have the Congress, when Obama was addressing the joint conference Congress the other day, some guy, Joe Wilson, got up and said that just said that's a lie, and yet the House came along and had him before them for an investigation for saying that within a week's time. But nothing's been done on these other people that's doing anything.
Well, let me try to,
is it a two-way?
Let me try to answer. First thing you said is a cesspool. Well, you know, most of the people I know, 99.9% who get in public work, it's a real sacrifice. If you are dealing with all sorts of issues, you're out every night of the week, the worst job is a spouse, by the way, when you're in politics, and your children are young. Randy, you've run, you see what it is. And it's easy to be the critic. That's number one. I don't care whether you're a lawyer, whether you're a politician, whether you're a doctor, it's the small percentage of people who've done wrongs that hurt everybody. Now, one of the reasons that it's unfortunate that it happens in this country, which is supposed to be a patriotic country, is that everybody's bashing politicians all the time, and that's because of the media, 24/7 constant media. Where you got your information was probably, who's that bald-headed guy on Fox, because all the things you've raised is what they're raising every day on Fox, that's fine to raise it, but let me try to address, where are the issues. Jack Murtha. I work with Jack Murtha on a regular basis. He is probably one of the most powerful people because he is chairman of the defense budget on appropriations. And appropriations is, where there's money, there's power. He's very well respected by the military and Republicans and Democrats. The airport, I don't know what the issue, I heard about it. He probably was trying to get this airport so that he could bring jobs to his district. And because he has the power, that's probably what he did. I don't say that's corruption, but I try to get jobs in my district too. And I've been able to do that since I've been on appropriations and certain money. As far as, what's the other one? Who's the other guy? Charlie Rangel. I don't know, if he's going to be, that's what the Justice Department is for, by the way. And by the way, all these people have been investigated by the Justice, and the Justice, under Bush Justice or Obama Justice, most of these people are career prosecutors. Now, it's not always the way the media blows issues up, but I just can't tell you. We got the House back, I think, one of the main reasons, not because we won it, because the Republicans lost it. And a lot of it was because of all those things that happened with Abramoff and everything else that came along. But yet, most of the Republicans I know are very straight and whatever. But you opened up another door for me, too, and that's about the issue of earmark. Let me tell you, earmarks are getting a bad rap. And unfortunately, because the public doesn't understand them, both Obama and McCain made that an issue. Here's the deal. I'm representing the 2nd Congressional District. I know this district, hopefully, than any other bureaucrat in Washington. And if we can't request things like BRAC for roads and all the issues, things that we've been able to get, schools, roads, I mean, it doesn't stop. If we can't know our own district and get money for that infrastructure to come here, then we're not going to do well. And I don't want a bureaucrat, because if we don't have earmarks, the administration is going to tell us what we're going to get and what we don't get. And that's not the way it is. We're experts in our districts. But, unfortunately, the message gets out, the public gets it in there, and everything goes to a certain way. So I kind of, as a former prosecutor who used to prosecute political corruption, I've been in politics for a long period of time, and I really don't see a lot of the corruption, and if the corruption's there, usually you're going to get nailed. How about the guy who put the money in the freezer? He's going to jail right now. He was prosecuted, and I know Murtha's been under investigation numerous times, but when you do well, let me give you an example. When I was on the appropriations, and when I was not on the appropriations committee, I was not able to get the money for the projects that are here, thank goodness. And it's rare for a state small like Maryland to have McCoskey in the Senate, me in the House, a small state to have 2 people in appropriations. But as a result of that, I've been able to get money that helps our district, and we need it to, if not for BRAC, I mean, look at all the jobs. If we don't put in infrastructure, if we don't take care of the things that happen in the city, what are we going to do? Where are we going to get projects? But I'm competing with all the other states for money, so I better be buttoned up, know what I'm asking for, and making sure that it's not a political thing. I know the Murtha thing. I can't tell you what it's about. It was probably he was going to try. I know Murtha was able to get one of the big intelligence agencies that does a lot of analytical work into his district. But he did it because he's Jack Murtha, and he's got the power to do it. And he's bringing jobs for his district. If you think it's corruption, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to try to do it for my district and my state, too. As long as it's right, and I think it's the right thing to do. I'm not going to do it just to do it. But you're held accountable for everything you do there anyhow. What else, George? Anything else?
Another question, the CIA investigation, they've already been cleared once, and now the Obama administration is taking them back to court and everything. How do you feel on that? That's in your department.
I feel really bad about it. I think it's wrong. I think that the men and women, and this is why I travel. I've told you I've been in my job in the Intelligence Committee. I have been out to 40 different countries, and really to deal with the front line with CIA, NSA, all of our military. And I think that everything starts at the top with leadership and standards. And when you're out there in a war zone, and when you're out there attempting to do what you think is right, and then all of a sudden an administration changes and the rules change, that is wrong. And I've said it publicly, and I feel very strongly about it. I work with the CIA. I work with them. I develop relationships with them. And believe me, it doesn't take a lot to hurt morale. And these people in the NSA are smart people. They're out in all parts of the world. Most of them dress up in costumes every day. They don't carry weapons. And they're one of the best that we have in the world getting information to us. And something like this is going on in Washington is wrong. I think, and not only that, I'm worried about moving forward because I said before, we're not going to win this war on terror just by shooting people. We have got to get the Islamic community behind us and do the right thing. Well, Abu Ghraib and all the torture and sex stuff that occurred there set us back in the Islamic community 15 years. Well, why do we want to air dirty linen, and especially when the standards had changed? And here's another thing, too. I think I said this on one of the talk shows, I don't know, Fox or something. And I'm one of the few Democrats that goes on Fox, but because I think you need to communicate with everybody. But here's an example. Police department. We have internal affairs. You're trained as a cop. You're trained in the CIA. You know what's right. You know what's wrong. You know what your standards are. It's not just like you're showing up off the street and you're going to be a CIA agent. And you know what's right and wrong. And if you're there and you do something really wrong, you should be held accountable by your own peers or by your supervisor or your leadership. That's internal affairs, and we've got the same thing in the CIA. But when you're out in a war zone and you feel these are the standards, then that's the standards. Don't change the standards. And I'm not for torture. I'm where Colin Powell is, and he's been in the war. Torture doesn't really get you where you get because statistics show that most people will tell you anything after a period of time. The interrogation is a science, and when you get good interrogators, you have people. It's a psychological issue, really. But you have good trained interrogators, you get a lot more information than when you do some kind of torture. You might get some occasionally for something quick, but in the end, but why we shouldn't be for torture is because our troops get it. If our troops are over there now and they get captured, they're going to be tortured. And that's why you have a system in this world, even with war, it goes way back, that torture is not a standard because you could get caught, your other guys could get caught, you can go kill each other, but when you capture somebody, you don't torture. So I'm concerned about it. I think it's wrong. And I think we have to move forward. You don't keep changing the standard. And we have so much on our plate right now. What is this going to do? How much time and effort are we going to put into investigation? I mean, look, I'm dealing with satellite programs, NSA, Afghanistan, Iran. I mean, these are things that are all not on the radar now because of healthcare, but they're there. And we have, if you have a committee that's doing it, let the Judiciary Committee look at it and see what's going on. So that's where I am on that issue. What else do you need?
Talk about Acorn.
What about Acorn?
You love them?
I don't know. I mean, I've really never dealt with Acorn. If Acorn's helping people, I don't have a problem there. But if they're mismanaged and they're not accountable and they're not spending public dollars, then it's wrong. They should be held accountable. So I voted against it. I voted where you would want me to be there. But it's unfortunate because there's a lot.
I didn't get that license.
Yeah.
You voted.
I voted to censure Acorn. okay.
Okay, thank you.
But I didn't do it because of you, George. You've been watching a lot of Fox lately, because you're coming up with all...
Maybe you should watch Fox yourself.
No, I can't watch TV. I
Because
gotta
them
work.
other stations don't give
I gotta work. I can't sit there watching Fox all day.
You mentioned